Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. This is Spotlight Africa. Welcome to you live from the Akwa Ibom State Capital. My name is Viyai Imam. Today on Spotlight Africa, Senegal's Prime Minister pledges to increase penalty for same-sex relations. Madagascar President Radriana visits French counterpart in Paris. Zimbabwe bans export of all raw minerals. Israeli President Herzog arrives in Addis Ababa at start of two-day official visit. In other news, Guinea detained 16 Sierra Leonean soldiers amid border dispute. These stories are all just ahead of Spotlight Africa. Stay with us. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. First on Spotlight Africa, Senegal's Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko has revealed legislation that would increase the maximum punishment for same-sex relations to up to 10 years in prison. The legislation also imposes 3 to 7 years in prison for what it describes as anyone who engages in advocacy for same-sex relations. Ousmane Sonko told Parliament that anyone committing an act against nature will be punished by 5 to 10 years imprisonment. Meanwhile, the move has been strongly condemned by human rights groups. In another development, the president of Madagascar, Michael Radriana, is visiting his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron in Paris, a visit that could mark the beginning of a thaw in diplomatic relations. According to the LC, discussions will include the provision of humanitarian aid to Madagascar in the wake of the devastating cyclones that battered the island. This comes days after Madagascar's president headed to Russia, where the two firmed up cooperation on defense and energy. Reports say the trips have sparked concern among some residents on the island as they question their benefits. We head now to DR Congo, where the government's forces launched an attack on the M23 armed group in the country's east, using drones to strike a strategic mining site occupied by the Rwandan-backed rebels. According to reports, the fighting yesterday was concentrated, in particular in areas near the mining town of Rubaya, where M23 soldiers were hit by a drone strike the previous day. The Rubaya mine produces 15 to 30% of the world's supply of coltan, key to making electronics like laptops and mobile phones. Since its resurgence in 2021, the M23 has taken vast tracts of the DRC's resource-rich east, capturing the Rubaya mine in North Kivu province in April 2024 with Rwanda's help. In a separate development, Zimbabwe has frozen exports of raw minerals and lithium concentrate, the mines ministry said today, tightening control over minerals and materials key to clean energy, technologies and defense industries. The ministry said the ban takes immediate effect, covers all raw minerals already in transit and will remain in place until further notice. Securing access to rare earths and other strategic minerals has become a global priority, given their role in smartphones, green energy systems, military equipment, and many other goods. This has prompted many producing nations to tighten controls and plug leaks in their supply chains. Elsewhere, Egypt said that 18 of its citizens were still missing after a migrant boat capsized, killing 4 people off the Greek island of Crete last week. Reports say the wooden boat was carrying 50 people, including 4 minors, when Greece's Coast Guard were alerted late Friday. Greek authorities then directed a commercial vessel to the area for a rescue operation. According to Greek public broadcaster ART, an accident occurred when the commercial vessel approached the migrants' boat. As the passengers tried to climb up ladders into the rescue vessel, a sudden movement caused the wooden boat to capsize. Egypt's foreign ministry says that 21 Egyptians were on board the boat when it capsized, 3 of whom have been found dead, while the rest remain missing. In other developments, Israeli President Isaac Herzog arrived in Addis Ababa on Wednesday at the start of a 2-day visit to Ethiopia. He was welcomed by the country's foreign minister and is expected to meet President Selassie and Prime Minister Abiy later in the day. The visit follows Israel's controversial recognition of Somaliland late last year and appears to be part of a diplomatic push to expand Israeli influence in the Horn of Africa. During his own recent visit to Ethiopia, Turkey's President Erdogan warned that the region should not become a battlefield of foreign forces. We move away from that. In the rugged hills of Somaliland, officials say vast treasure lies beneath the earth. The breakaway territory in northern Somalia claims it holds abundant critical minerals and potentially billions of barrels of oil, resources that could transform its economic future. Authorities say Israel's recognition of Somaliland in December could be a game changer, unlocking foreign investment and turning long-claimed resources into real economic opportunity. Israel became the first country to recognize Somaliland's independence since it broke from Somalia in 1991, sparking anger in Mogadishu. Despite 35 years of self-rule, President Abdirahman Mohamed Abdullahi has openly considered granting Israel privileged access to Somaliland's mineral wealth, signaling the territory's willingness to leverage new alliances and investment opportunities. Meanwhile, Guinea's military has confirmed the detention of 16 Sierra Leonean soldiers after accusing them of crossing the border and raising their flag on Guinean soil, while Freetown maintains its troops were on its own territory constructing a border post, the latest flare-up in a decade-long territorial dispute. According to Guinea's Ministry of National Defense, the soldiers entered the districts of Kwaudaya in the Farana border region without authorization on Sunday, where they set up a tent and raised their national flag approximately 1.4 kilometers inside Guinea. Their equipment and supplies were seized and an investigation has been opened. Sierra Leone offers a starkly different version. The government says its joint security team was making bricks for a new border post and accommodation facility in Kellyere, Falaba district, territory it insists is sovereign Sierra Leonean land, when Guinean forces crossed over and apprehended them. Africa, 11 men allegedly tricked into fighting for Russian forces in Ukraine returned home Wednesday as political fallout intensifies over recruitment claims linked to former President Jacob Zuma's party. The men, including one in a wheelchair, landed in Durban after being trapped in Ukraine's Donbas region since November. 4 others returned last week, while 2 remain in Russia. One hospitalized. Family members at the airport broke down as they saw their loved ones disembark. Reports allege the men were sent to Russia for security guard training by the opposition MK party led by ex-President Zuma. His daughter Duduzile Zuma Samdula resigned from parliament over claims that she was involved in recruitment. We'll take a quick break now, and when we return we'll bring you more stories on Spotlight Africa. Stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. This is still Spotlight Africa. We head now to Ethiopia, where peacekeepers in South Sudan have been awarded the United Nations Medal in recognition of their service in the war-torn country. The ceremony in Yambio recognized all members of the battalion, from frontline troops to the mechanics keeping the equipment mission ready. Major Tigis Ferretti is one of the Ethiopian battalion mechanics. The ceremony was attended by United Nations and local officials who came out to honor the troops dedicated to restoring peace and stability in the war-torn country. Lieutenant General Mohan Subramanian, UNMISS Force Commander, remembered those peacekeepers who have died in the line of duty. For Major Ferrende and the team of mechanics, every engine repaired, every mission completed is a contribution to fulfilling their mission, protecting civilians and building peace. The National Democratic Congress NDC Secretary General Mbambwe Zima of Zambia was arrested allegedly over a fake image posted on Facebook depicting the country's president lying in a casket. President Hakainde Hichilema is lying in a casket, and Vice President Mutale Nkomo pays his tribute to Zambia's deceased leader. This is the content of a digitally altered image that was published on Facebook from Lusaka and which led to the arrest of politician Mbambwe Zimba, Secretary General of the National Democratic Congress NDC, a political party, on Tuesday. There have been no indications from the press or the government that President Hichilema could have died or that his state of health could have deteriorated. According to the local media, Lusaka Times, preliminary information revealed that Zimba was one of the administrators of the Facebook page in question called Zambia for All 2026. The 44-year-old politician reportedly remains in police custody in Lusaka. An inquiry is apparently underway since Sunday, when the police first received a report about the altered picture. Now, Zimbabwe has abruptly pulled out of talks with the United States over a new health aid deal meant to replace a program dismantled under President Donald Trump. The agreement would have provided $367 million over 5 years, supporting 1.2 million Zimbabweans receiving HIV treatment. Officials say the negotiations were halted because the terms threatened national autonomy, with concerns that the pact could shift control of disease response and grant Washington broad access to health data. The U.S. has been pursuing similar agreements across Africa under its America First strategy, partly to counter China's influence on the continent, with Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, Lesotho and Eswatini among the countries that have signed deals. With Zimbabwe stepping back, the U.S. now faces the task of winding down its health assistance in the country, leaving the future of HIV and broader health support uncertain. And that's all we're able to bring to you at this time on Spotlight Africa, bringing you developments and stories all around the continent. This has been put together by Spectrum Television. Do what follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. Spotlight Africa, VIMM. Good afternoon.